Hi, Sean here. So today I'm going to show you how to do a skin smoothing technique on Photoshop. Okay, so I'm just going to be using this image over here, and I'm going to be just going to open that up in Photoshop. And as you'll see, that this model has got quite a lot of freckles. So today we're going to get rid of these freckles while leaving some skin texture by using this skin smoothing technique. Okay, so the first thing I want to do is over here on my layers panel is duplicate this background layer. So we do that by pressing Ctrl and J. Okay, and we have layer 1 here that pops up. So make sure this is highlighted, and we're going to go to Filter, Blur, and we're going to add a surface blur to that layer. Okay, so you want to get it so it's like quite blurred but not enough to actually lose a lot of definition in the face. Okay, so I'm happy with that. Press OK. The next thing I want to do is actually go back and highlight this background layer. Then I'm going to press Ctrl and J again to duplicate that layer. So now we see we have a copy of that layer here. And then I'm going to move that right to the top of that layers panel. Okay, so that should go on top of your blurred layer. Okay, with this background copy layer, I'm going to go to Filter. I'm going to select Other, and then High Pass. Okay, and when you put in the high pass on this image, is you want to get it so there's not that much definition. So you want to get it so there's not that much definition in the model's face. So I think around about there is probably a good radius on your pixels. So I'm going to press OK. The next thing I want to do is actually have a look at my blending modes here, so my blending modes tab, and I'm going to select hard light. Okay, so that's given us an airbrushed technique. But the next thing we want to do is actually give ourselves a bit more control on where the airbrushing is actually going to come out on the face. So if I need to select these two layers together. Okay, so I can do that by holding down Control and selecting the layer 1. So now we've got both of these layers selected. I'm going to right click, I'm going to make them into a group. Okay, so I'm going to group from layers. So now that they're in a group, I want to create a layer mask. And we do this by going down to this bottom tab here, and it's this rectangular icon with the circle in the middle. And I'm going to hold down the Alt key while I click that. Okay, so I'm holding down the Alt key and I'm going to click. Okay, and you should get something like this. Also, you need to make sure that this here is black, and you need to make sure that this is white. Okay, so I'm going to select the brush tool. Okay, so this is what we're going to be using to paint on the airbrush. So the brush tool, make sure that your foreground here is white. Okay, you can adjust your size of your brush by pressing the square bracket keys. Okay, and make sure you've got a feathered edge brush. Okay, so you can change all these settings up here. You might also want to take the opacity down as well, just so it blends a little bit more naturally. Okay, so let's start smoothing out the skin. Okay, so once you're happy with your skin smoothing, you might also want to do a little bit onto the neck here and just smooth some of that out. But once you're happy with it, there you go. You can flatten this image and make it into a JPEG, or you can save it as a Photoshop file. Okay, there's a skin smoothing technique on Photoshop then for you. I hope that helps.